Alright, today's episode we will talk about what drives you or motivates you when can I say that? No, probably not. That's ugly word. Hits the fan. I mean, when you are at your lowest. What keeps you going? I can give you one hint. Correctly set motivation and expectations together with right attitude. So in today's episode, we will talk what to avoid when setting your goal and how to stay consistent throughout the challenges. Welcome to today's episode. So let's start from the mistakes, what I guess most of us have done at some point in our lives. So this is normal, but it's good to notice what are those kind of mistakes not to repeat them again. After going through these mistakes, I will give you a step-by-step guide how to set the right motivation and expectations. So pretty common mistake we might do is to choosing a motivation which is not motivating enough. I will tell you more about this in a bit. The second mistake, what we do even more often, is that we set too high expectations. But there is actually other perspective for this, which we'll cover shortly. And then the last mistake what I want to bring up is the attitude of performance. So trying to be perfect all the time, allowing only going forward. But let's open these mistakes and use these as an examples so we'll learn how to avoid them and guarantee that the motivation serves you throughout the challenges we all face during our life. So as I mentioned, the first mistake we might do is not choosing the right motivation to yourself. So you need to choose the one which is really the motivation for you, not generally recognized thing which should be motivating or the thing that is beneficial for others, unless that's the thing that generally motivates you. As an example, if you have kids and you think you need to do some corrections with your health, for some people that might be really motivating, that you want to stay healthier for your kids so you are able to spend time with them more, or that you are their support there longer and able to do things. But also with this example, we might come to the point that, okay, you enjoy spending time with your kids. So that's the actual motivation there. And what comes to these generally recognized things which should be beneficial for all of us and those as a motivation. For example, that when you sleep better, you support your health, your memory, your well-being. So that's kind of generally recognized thing, and you can use that as a starting point. So you can see like, okay, that's known fact. But then you need to go with both of these examples. I highly recommend you to go inwards and reflect how it actually motivates me. Not just that it's generally recognized or, well, other people are expecting me to do things, but think how it motivates you. And this is important because when you face the challenges, something unexpected happens. It's just easier to not do things. But when you go back to your original motivation, it's easier and nicer to work with the thing you decided in the first place. So yes, set the motivation that actually serves you. Then the next thing is that we might set too high expectations. And when we do this, and if it happens that we are not achieving those fast enough or well enough, we might feel disappointed. And when we feel disappointed and we feel that, okay, this is not working, it's easier to quit. So that's the reason when you set your expectations, they can be high, like you can aim high. I'm not saying that, but then slice your goal to smaller pieces. So there are kind of some goals in the middle. And when you achieve those, you get the motivation from there that I can do it. So if we continue using the sleeping issue, so if your goal would be that I want to go 2 hours earlier to sleep every night, you can set like smaller goals that, okay, maybe on Mondays I will go earlier to sleep, like 20 minutes earlier. So once per week, 20 minutes earlier, then maybe twice per week, or maybe then you put like 1 hour earlier. So those goals that shows you that you're able to do it, you are going towards your goal. But as I mentioned earlier, there is another perspective for this. So when we are talking about expectations, it's good to get to know yourself. Surprise. So for example, if you are a type of person who is like, I need to be perfect in everything, it can cause that first of all you don't start things because it feels too hard when you're setting too high expectations. So it might be easier to have a smaller goals. But the thing I want to highlight here about this to knowing yourself, it might depend from the situations and things. But for example, if I have multiple things I need to do for work, I know myself that I like to schedule too much for every day, and I know for myself that when I do that, I will actually do more. But I also accept that I'm not achieving all those things which I have set there. And in my mind, I all the time know what is the minimum I need to get done, but I just prefer to choose more, so it kind of motivates me more. I keep going when I have tasks waiting. But if you prefer setting just that amount of things, what you know you are able to do, and then you know that you are able to do more if you want, then set goals like that. So kind of know if you get disappointed if you don't achieve things. So I ask you to ask from yourself, is too high expectations driving you, or are they dragging you down? It's more common that those middle goals are working better. So I also highly recommend you to try that. And maybe from there you will learn which type of person you are. And the last point was about this performance attitude. Now the previous example sounds not so good here. But we need to remember that when we are working with our body attitude, and this is related to our health and well-being, how we feel in our body, how we behave towards our body, what we think about it. So these kind of goals we are setting related to our bodies are normally taking a little bit longer than maybe some work tasks. So it's maybe better to leave the performance attitude behind, because here you will work with your mental and physical health, and it might take time. And I want to emphasize here that leaving the performance attitude, because in a long run, if you have this, I need to just complete everything, just go forward, it will eat you. It will not support you in a long run. So body attitude is not a one-time task completed. It can take longer, and it's okay because you do this for yourself. This is your journey, and it's good to accept that the journey includes practicing. And when you practice, you will learn more about yourself, which will help you to work with your body attitude even more. So there is no need to be perfect. And in any ways, what is perfect? So please remember that you are doing this for yourself, and go back to your original motivation why you are doing this. You deserve to have a good body attitude, and you will define what that means. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to feel well. So yes, do this for yourself. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. See you on next time. Bye.